Welcome to another Life Roast episode. I'm John. You got Big T right here. Today we're going to have another uncomfortable conversation. We're going to challenge some social norms. We're going to get into the thick of some stuff and hopefully find some things that are relatable to you, because today we are talking about holidays, family event, the obligatory nature behind it, how we feel, and ideally we're going to be talking about some stuff so you don't have to, right? This is one of the things we were talking about before, is being able to create content that, you don't want to have the conversation. In the back of your head, you do, but you don't know how to address it. You don't know how to confront people about it. And so we're here to do it for you and hopefully show you how to do it. Or, hey, like T said when we were trying to record this before, just copy that link and send it to somebody so you don't have to have the conversation at all. But so holidays, family events, obligations, how do you handle it? What are we feeling? And all of that.
All the above.
All the above. Fun stuff.
So you know what we're talking about here. This is the, we got it coming up. We have Labor Day weekend coming up this weekend, and you set plans, you think everything's going to be awesome, and you make this whole itinerary of stuff you want to do, barbecue, whatever it may be, hang out, do absolutely nothing, lay on your couch and watch, the Jason Bourne trilogy, because technically the one sucked anyway. But anyway.
I think it still counts.
Yeah, it counts, but it should never have been
made.
But that's fine. Anyway, So the idea there is, okay, you set all these plans, and then boom, 2 weeks before the thing, you get an invitation in the mail that you got invited to a family function. And you're like, shit, okay, what do we do? So in this context, you have to make a decision. And that's what this little conversation is about, is, what do you do? Like, why is it that we feel so obligated to go to these functions and be a part when you really didn't want to go? Or why couldn't you just split up and have the wife go and you stay, or vice versa? And, and when you get there, well, where is this person? And where is that person? Well, how come they didn't come? You get the sneers and jeers of family. So that's kind of the conversation. So we'll go over the gamut of family functions, from birthday parties to whatever today, and kind of poke holes in it, have some fun with it, and maybe give you guys some sneak peeks on, or some sneaky ways to get out of stuff. We'll see. Not like we do, but we try.
Well, it's funny because we're going into this and I'm like, my family watches this.
Yeah. You're going to learn our secrets.
Hey, yeah.
So I think this is a part of it, is that everyone wants to be around their family. Family's great, but at the same time, family is overwhelming, and family, we've joked about this in podcasts where they just feel like they can talk to you and say things like most people wouldn't, and give you their critique on what's going on with your own life. So sometimes going to family functions may be rough. Or they take a topic down a certain direction where you're like, I don't want to have that I don't want to have this conversation. So when you look at family events, it's not just about hanging out and enjoying each other's companies. Sometimes, depending on the families, things can get critical. Things can get hot. Like, there's certain family members maybe you don't get along with. Maybe there's certain family members, like, no one wants them there because they just, I don't know. I can't think of anyone in our family that way, but I've been to friends' house where, like, oh God, I hope, Uncle Tim or Uncle Johnny or Uncle Billy or whatever. And Uncle Tim, don't worry, that I have an Uncle Tim. It's awesome. I was trying to think of a generic name, but anyway, the idea there is that there's certain people, and when they come, people are like, oh shit, here we go. This is just not going to be fun. So that's part. So I'm going to run through a couple here.
Please do.
And the first one for all you married couples, this one all too well when it comes to holidays and weekends and different parties, is the picking of sides. Whose house do we go, or whose family takes priority for this holiday? And, it's the calculator theory of, well, let's just add up what we've done with your family, and let's add up what we did with her family. And is this rule? And well, now we have to do this. And like, where did the calculator come from? I don't understand that part. Do you have that in your house?
Well, look, I think you can relate to this a little bit because we have so many families. I feel like when you've had a previous marriage, which comes with a family, and you got your current marriage that comes with a family, and like, so mine is pretty similar. Like, right, my wife was married before. We still talk to their family. So my adopted son has two totally separate sets of grandparents, and then, her parents are divorced, so there's two separate sets of, we got like 5 or 6, families that we have to sit there and appease. And it is like everybody wants to do something for the major holidays.
Right.
So it's literally like, well, you got like, why is it always the same families that we have to do the same things for? And like, why do we have to go, Christmas Day is like, or Christmas week is insane, right? Because everybody wants to have family get-togethers, and we're everybody's family, right? And so, right. Of course, we don't host, and I'll probably go into this later because I've come up with solutions for this, and I get I get told no, not to even approach it, and it's just kind of funny. Like, I can't stand it.
Oh yeah,
I really can't. It's stressful, and it's like, well, the kids love it, and it's like, I don't care. I don't want to have to pick up my kids, put them in a car seat 5 times today to take them somewhere else, so they're overstimulated. They get a bunch of stuff that they don't need, and for what? Like you said, like if I don't go, then we got to bring out the calculator, and somebody's getting upset, somebody's getting hurt. We didn't spend the equal amount of time with each other's families. Is like, what? Why?
Yeah, and I think you're right. The blended family is the new way. It is not your typical, okay, boy girl get married and their parents are still married, and
right, yeah,
there's grandparents on one side, grandparents on the other side. I mean, you said it best. I have my first wife's family, who we're just as close as we are today than we were back then, and my kids today know them as grandparents, although they, my wife and I now. But either way, so there's that blended family. Well, then if you throw on top of that divorce, well, now there's a whole nother set of grandparents or other pseudo step grandparents and whatever. And then throw on top of that, and you may have hinted towards this, but what if they don't get along?
Oh, that's a real thing.
The new husband and wife and from the divorce don't get along, but they're all in the same room, and we all try and play nice because it's Christmas. And so we have that kind of tension in the room, and that's where, when you're like, I ain't coming to this event because I don't want to be there, or different religions is a big thing. Like, one family member is Jewish, another family member is Catholic, and then all of a sudden a daughter brings a boyfriend that's Muslim, or like, holy shit, the dynamic is crazy. And well, we're not allowed to have this on the table, and we can't have, like, whoa, what is going on here? This just turned into United Nations of personalities and religions and ethnicities. And all you wanted to do is have dinner and hang out.
That's all I wanted to do.
And here's, you brought it up best too. This was my frustration. When you have kids, what is Christmas truly about, with the exception of the birth of Christ? It's the joy of watching a kid open his presents, or getting to play with his presents, or getting to just enjoy the greatness of that day, to be a proud parent and watch their kid and do it all. And what do you got to do after they've opened it up? Quick, hurry up. Let's get the place cleaned up. We got to get in the car. We got to go to so-and-so's house.
Drives me nuts.
And hold on. We didn't have the balls to tell the other people we couldn't go to their house too. So, okay, quick, we go visit there. We have a couple snacks. We open up some presents. We pass out presents to our nieces and nephews there. And no, hold on. We got to go to the next party. And we have to do it all over again, and be cordial and eat their food because they made a great big meal. And you're like, holy shit, I just wanted to sit at home on my jammies and with my kids and play board games and drink hot cocoa, whatever the festivities would be. And if you people want to come over, come on over. And if you don't stay home with your own kids.
Well, and you said it too. It's like, once I start that, I can't say no. Right. I mean, I can and I will, but most people, the second, especially when you got blended families like that, I think the hardest thing to do is say yes to one and no to everybody else. Right. And especially if they know each other. Right. My wife's parents, like I said, are divorced. And, when we only go to one or the other one's going to feel some type of way about that.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they make it obvious. And I'm like, like you said, if you want to see them, that's fine. I'm not trying to prevent anybody from spending time with us during the holidays. That's not at all what I want.
Right.
But when I have my own family now, right? And I have to do what's best for them, for us, and going and picking up, like you said, like one of the things about, and we're going to probably end up talking a lot about Christmas So if you don't do Christmas, I'm sorry. But
You could just turn it off
just
now.
no, we'll talk about a lot of other stuff, but Christmas seems to be a big one because what happens is exactly that. We have breakfast and we open up presents at my house, and then we immediately go to her dad's for lunch or whatever it is, or second breakfast or whatever it is. And then we open up presents. The kids didn't even play with the first presents. And then we get there and we spend an hour there and they play with toys for like a minute. And then, mom and dad, we're rushing around trying, mom, usually I'm playing with the toys too. But we're trying to clean up. We're trying to get everything in the car so we can go do the next thing or get back home, do whatever we need to do for the rest of the day or go see somebody else in a different town. And it's just like, whew.
Yeah.
I know. It's not a lot of breathing room.
Just so you know, we have 2 dogs here. We thought we'd give it a whirl this time. If you just heard a hack in the background, Babs is over there eating a bone, and Rhino will probably pop his head up. But just so you know, there are 2 dogs walking.
It was his wife's Christmas present.
Yeah, she loves these guys. But anyway, so let's get back to it. I want to give you a heads up on the beasts. Good point there with the obligatory. This is what we want to do, but we're stuck following some plan and some schedule and some everything else. And really you just want to scream and go, why? Like, why do we have to follow this process? Like, seriously, what role does I'm sorry, the dog, this will be the first and last time we do the dog. Where is it in stone that says this is what you have to do? That we have to go to all these other people's houses. And what I find amazing is that, at least in this general area, for my family, we all live kind of close. An hour at max, maybe 2 hours if we go visit my brothers and sisters. But it's not like I can't see them on a separate weekend. It's not like I can't just drive down to their house or over to the house on a Tuesday night and just hang out for a couple hours. Why is it that we've gotten so critical on the day? Like Christmas Day, we all have to be together, or Christmas Eve, we all have to be together. What happened to like December 28th? Like, is that such a bad day to be, or do we say, oh, the other family got Christmas Day? Like, it's amazing. Like, why are we so stuck on the day?
It's funny because growing up, my mom's side of the family was really close. Like, I grew up with all my cousins, my aunts, my uncles. And, I remember back then, everybody was from out of town, right? And so they would plan a weekend like a year in advance, and it wouldn't almost never be on the weekend of the holiday. It would always be the week or the week before, the week after the week before.
Right.
And everybody was able to get there. It was one event. All the families came together, and that was it. We were done. We spent all day together and went home.
Yeah.
Right. But to your point, it's like, I feel like one of those things is, we're raised in a traditional way, whether we see it or we don't see it. It's like this traditional conditioning where we're conditioned to believe that things have to happen a certain way because that's how they've always been. And I am big on breaking these apart because I can't stand doing things because of some tradition that I was raised on 20 years ago.
Right.
I think it's ridiculous. Because again, I got my own family now. I'm trying to create my own traditions and stuff. And I don't like being held to a certain thing that, like, if something comes up, I want to be able to go do it, but we're so conditioned to believe that if I go against this tradition, then I'm wrong. I'm bad. Somebody's going to get upset. I have to appease everybody else around me. This is tradition. It has to be this way. But like you said, like, why?
Right.
Like, what happens if tomorrow you just woke up and said, hey, I'm going to do something different? Like, what? Like, is the sky going to fall or something? I don't. I have a hard time.
My question would be on the tradition is, at what point are we allowed to put our foot down? Like, I'm 52 years old. Why am I kowtowing to whatever day we have to do certain things? And why am I a douchebag when I stand my ground and go, yeah, I'm not coming. Like, I'm tired of traveling during the holidays. I'm tired of running around like an idiot. Like, I love and when I tell you, I have a great family. Every time we're together, we have a blast. It doesn't matter which side, how many extensions there are. When everyone's together, it's a blast. But sometimes it's just like, okay, enough's enough. I would love to hang out with you. Let's hang out on Tuesday. Let's hang out on Thursday. Hell, come over this weekend. We'll hang out all day. I'll make a nice meal. We'll barbecue. We'll do whatever. But we've set this stage of, okay, this is the day and we all have to sacrifice and we're all going to be together and no one's going to have any fun because we're going to run like idiots and we're going to have to gather up all our presents and we're going to have to tell the kids, I'm sorry, you can't play with your stuff because we have to go to the next location and pack it all in the car. I'm like, holy shit. Like, why?
Well, that's one of my big problems with birthday parties, holidays, all this stuff, right? Is that I feel like this is, and I don't know, maybe I sound weird saying this, but I feel like the idea behind holidays and birthdays is covered up by what we're talking about right now, right? Like the concept behind all these holidays is coming together, being joyous, happy, spending time together, quality time together, and all that stuff. And it's like, well, does that mean that I don't have 364 other days throughout the year,
right,
to practice these things, to do these things, right? Like we place such, we hyper emphasize these specific days as if the rest don't exist for us to do the things that we want to do.
right.
And I feel like it takes away from being able to do that, because it's like, and what's funny is like we come together Thanksgiving, Labor Day, whatever, and at Christmas, it doesn't matter, right? All year we pretend, or maybe we don't like each other, right? But then we come together on this one day and we all pretend to get along, and we try our best to do these things. And it's like, if 364 days out of the year I don't like you, why do I wait until this one day to pretend I do?
Right.
And now I feel like I have to go out of my way, because if I don't get along with you and I don't want to come because you're there, well, mom and dad are going to feel some type of way because, whatever. And there's just so much that goes into this stuff. And it's just, it's insane that, again, like we spend all year doing the things that we're not doing on that specific day that we could be doing. It's like, why can't we just, hey, Tuesday, let's go out for lunch. Hey, we're going to go out and we're going to go to Cedar Point this weekend. You guys want to come?
Right. Right. Simple things.
365 days a year, and we pick 5 days to hyper focus on.
Right.
And everybody has to be there, and everybody has to do the things, and everybody has to be happy and get along and all that stuff. And it's just like,
right. All right. So I'm going to take this to another level, because I just looked at my thing there. So we beat it to death. Like there's a day, and we fight for that day, and whatever. We can't answer that. I my personal view is set up a different day ahead of time and invite everyone over to your house on a different day. And if they come, great. And if they don't, it is what it is. But I want to jump into this because this is one of my other contentions. Financial obligations with gifts. Birthday parties is one thing. Like, what do you get invited to a birthday party, and whether it's your kid's friend or your kid's friend of a friend of a friend or someone in the class, like, okay, how much are you supposed to spend?
They have rules on that.
I'm sure they do, and whatever. But if we take it back to the holidays, again, I'm 52 years old. I don't need any gifts. I don't, and I will put it out there. If you're a family member watching right now, I love you to pieces. Don't buy me anything. If I really need something, I'll go buy it. The fact that we just get to hang out, break bread, have a few drinks, goof off, do all that stuff, I don't need a gift. There's no reason for you to stress yourself out about getting a gift. In return, I think it goes the same way. Like, well, I'm 52. Why am I buying gifts for everyone under the sun? And I know it might sound like a cheapskate, or I'm not, but it's like I watch the stress levels of everyone and figuring out, okay, I have this person, I have this person. Before you know it, you got 33 people to buy for, between nephews and cousins and parents and brothers and sisters. And like you said, I don't see them but once or 3 times a year based on location, and I'm buying gifts. And like I sit there and say, and maybe again, you guys put them in the comments. Maybe I'm just a cheap ass, but it has nothing to do with the dollars. It's like I'm literally buying a gift to sit in the room and not feel embarrassed that I didn't buy a gift. And I'm giving it to a cousin. Like, why? Or I'm giving it to, or they're giving me one where I look at them and I think, why did you buy me a gift? Like, and then you open it like, oh my God, this is so great. Thank you. Like, but still, why did you buy me a gift? I didn't ask for one and you weren't obligated to give me one. But then it's like, wow, if I added up all the dollars, like there's times we've spent in our household $1,500 to $2,000 on gifts for other people, where I look at my wife and go, holy shit, like that was nuts. Like, and we see them never, and we don't hang out, and they're not an integral part of our life. But again, not that I don't want to sound cheap. It's ridiculous. Why do we have to?
Hey, look. So I think there's multiple factors here. when it comes to that stuff, because I know the people, and I'm not saying this is everybody, but I know the people that are so into buying gifts because they feel like that's an expression of their love.
Sure.
Right. And like some of my kids' grandparents do that. They buy them anything and everything they want. And it's almost like, I'm starting to think it's like they're trying to compensate for something. I don't know. I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying everybody's like this, but I think that's one of the factors that we have to look into is, like you said, if I don't buy them something, then I'm cheap, or I'm an asshole, or I don't care about them, or, any number of the different reasons, or I'm embarrassed because somebody else did buy it for them or whatever, and I've been to family gatherings where, like Christmas again, for an example, where I have a family member who thinks that all the aunts and uncles should buy gifts for all the kids. And no, like I argue this point, I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Right. And they were arguing like, well, they should, because I have other family members in that situation who can't really afford to do that.
Right.
And this other person gets pissed at them because like, well, they should be saving up all year to buy presents for everybody because, that's just what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. First of all, like, how arrogant do you have to be to think that that's not the meaning of the holiday? That's not the meaning of the birthdays. The birthdays, my kid could care less if you buy him another fucking Hot Wheel cart thingy. Right. He just wants some goddamn cake and he wants to hang out with his family and have fun.
Right.
That's it. He wants to play in a box or hang from an obstacle or do something silly.
Right.
He doesn't care if you bought him something.
I get it. I think that's my frustration. I'll give you a perfect example. We spend Christmas at home. We live up in Cleveland. My immediate brothers and sisters and parents live down in Columbus, Ohio. And for the last 30 years, I've never been to Columbus for Christmas. I'm not traveling on Christmas. It's just a lot. So this past year, just on a whim, we said, let's do it. Let's go down there. I think my brother normally he would have it on Christmas Eve, but it was like on the 23rd. So we went down there and it was awesome. Like literally first time hanging out with my family for Christmas. I haven't done it. And then we finished dinner and we're getting ready to leave. And like, you can't leave. I said, well, we gotta go back to Cleveland. It's a 2-hour drive. We don't want to be late. No, we got to do presents. I'm like, presents? Like, I didn't buy any presents. Like, who's doing presents? Like, we're all grown. Our kids are all grown. Like, there's no babies anymore, with the exception, I got my young boys, 10 and 14, and sure enough, everyone brought out presents. I'm the only dumbass that didn't get presents. I'm the only one that didn't pass out gift cards for the older kids for Starbucks and all the other stuff.
Oh man.
And and I kind of sat there. At first I was like, I kind of feel bad. Then afterwards I thought, well, I don't understand why you would buy all of this stuff. Like, what's the point? Like, and again, maybe I'm just a dumbass, but we're all going to go out and spend thousands of dollars so that we can all pass out gifts to each other. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's it. And when you look at it, like, if we didn't pass out the gifts and you didn't do that, what changed besides you didn't walk out with something? We still had a great time together. It was still great to see everyone. But now you have a parting gift. You have something from an aunt that you only see twice a year. Like, so I felt like a schmuck, but at the same time I thought, it is what it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I try not to read too much into that kind of stuff.
And then what's the dollar amount? I mean, if you are going to do it, what's the dollar amount that's proposed? We've done other events where the thing is it's no more than $50 a kid. Like, wow.
That's
when you got, on both sides, 12, 15 nephews and you're doing the math, you're like, wow, this is another $1,000 right here. Like,
no more than 50 means $10.
But either way, it's like, and when they open, like, oh, thanks, Uncle T. Oh, thanks, bro. Oh, thanks, whatever. Like,
if it's the thought that counts, it shouldn't matter.
But again, it makes me sound like I'm a cheap ass, but it's like, oh my God, the stress of getting, and I see my wife, because, as you probably all may know, the moms do it all, and the dads show up for the accolades on the day. And I feel bad for her because she's stressing out. And then when she turns to me, she says, nope, you're in charge of this one. I'm like, yeah, no problem. What a pain in the ass.
I'll never understand that one, because if my wife cares about something, I try to care about it too. Right. But stuff like this, I look at and I'm like, yeah, she'll send me to the store to buy presents for somebody's birthday. Like, I'm clueless here. I don't know what they want. They said they don't know what they want. They gave me 10 different ideas. I know this kid. I know damn well he's going to look at this toy. He's going to be like, thank you. And then tomorrow it's going to go on the bottom shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're probably not going to play with it ever again.
Right.
And if somebody came by and said, hey, that's a nice toy, they'd be like, yeah, okay.
You're absolutely right.
Like, I'm not spending 3 months preparing for that and stressing about it and worrying about it. Like if I know somebody well enough, right? I feel like if I know somebody well enough, then buying gifts isn't that hard. But there are so many people today. It's like, I don't want a gift. My mom's like this. She's like, I don't really want anything. I just want to spend time with you. But still, everybody still feels obligated to go buy her something.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she genuinely doesn't care. Like I'm starting to realize like she actually just doesn't care.
No.
She just wants to spend time with us. And that's how I am. I almost hate when people give me gifts. I love it, right? Because like sometimes it's things that I need that I haven't gotten, but I'd rather they didn't. Because we shouldn't feel obligated. I'm 33 years old.
Right.
You don't got to buy me gifts anymore.
No, but that's my point is if you're going to do gifts, and I have a brother-in-law that did this. I don't even know if he's still doing it. If he is, great. If he isn't, no big deal. But he said it to me years ago because he was in the same thing. Like, why am I going to go buy some $30 or $50 trinket that the kid's going to play with for 15 minutes? It's going to find its bottom of that. Again, the dog just moved the whole table. What he came up with was it makes more sense to say, okay, on birthdays and on holidays, if we were going to spend $50, he takes the $50 and puts it in a bank account.
Nice.
And every single holiday he does that, and he just keeps on doing it. Okay, Christmas, we're not getting you anything. We put $50, and kids might be like, "Oh yeah, he's a cheap ass. He never buys me anything," and blah blah blah. But guess what? It's been sitting in an account 18 years from the day you were born, and he's put $50, $100. Let's say it's $150 total a year, times 18 in a savings account. Let's say it's yielding 2%. Who fucking cares? But you're getting ready to go off to college, and he shows up and goes, "Hey, here's $1,000. It's $1,000. You started college. This is awesome. Hopefully this can buy groceries, a couple parties, do whatever you need." But like that hits home. Like,
yeah, that's cool.
Now you're old enough and understand like $1,000 is a lot of money, but he just put it away your entire life. Like that shit's brilliant. Like that's the stuff I would look at and say for my kids. Like if someone handed them an envelope and it's just a little certificate that says, "Hey, I put $100 in an account for you. I put $500 in an account for you." At the time, like, "Oh yeah, thanks, Grandma. Oh, that's great." But I tell you what, when you get to an age where you appreciate money, it's like, "Oh, hey, Grandma, that's freaking great."
Hell yeah.
That's bailout money right there because I couldn't make rent this month for college or whatever it may have been.
Literal bailout, maybe.
Right. Or literal bailout for one of your buddies who's a schmuck. But that's the idea is like, we're so enamored by buying trinkets and gifts and the momentary sense of gratification. Like, for what? All to satisfy some bullshit requirement? I'd rather you not. Give my kid a hug and tell him, you're proud of him, listen to a story that he did, than buy him some stupid ass trinket that's going to be in the bottom of my car and we're going to forget about it.
One of the arguments that I get, and I know somebody who would make this argument is, but the kid's going to know. The kid's going to know, and they're going to feel unloved by you if you show up without a gift to their birthday party. How the hell do they know? How do they know that gifts mean love?
I don't think they do.
They're kids. They only know stuff. Let me a little insight on kids, right? They only know things that we teach them.
Right.
Which is an interesting concept for a lot of parents. But if your kid's upset because they didn't get a present, I don't know. It didn't come from fucking imagination land.
Right.
Just saying.
No, I'm with you. I think that's the part of, and I'll jump into the next one, of setting new traditions.
Yes.
Again, and the whole idea of this is, let's roast the fact that we don't have the balls to say, "I don't want to come." It's not you. It's not the other family members. It's not anything. I just want to set a new tradition. I want to be at home with my kids. I don't want to teach them this is what the holiday is. We run around like idiots. Mom loses her mind because dad's, not doing things fast enough and not helping around the house. Not that that's what it's about, but you understand, guys, definitely. Wives, you're feeling like you're overwhelmed trying to manage everything and do all the work because your pain in the ass husband is just clueless and doesn't think anything and, would go buy a $500 item when it was on sale, 2 stores over for $350. So and how stupid of you for buying, wasting $150. But again, this is that stress. So how do you set a new tradition? I think a big part of that is just decide what you want and make it known. Like literally. And this is the reason why we're doing this now in August. Like you got holidays, Memorial Days or Labor Days this weekend coming up. You got Halloween, you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you got New Year's. Like make it known now. I have tried now with my wife for the last 5 years to say, let's just leave from December 20th to January 4th. Let's just go somewhere. Airbnb, something. We'll do our holidays on our own. And not to sneak away and avoid all the craziness, but kind of.
That's exactly
like, okay, let's go on a beach somewhere and let's just chill. I found, of all places, I looked at this 4 years ago, right during COVID, there was a 3-bedroom condo in Cancun for the entire month of December for $3,200.
Oh man!
Now some of you say, "Holy shit, I don't have $3,200," and I understand. But for an entire month in Cancun, and when you saw this thing, it was on the blue liquid ocean, beautiful, amazing, with a pool that was a part of the condo complex. And I'm thinking, we could be there for the whole month. Damn. Instead, let's buy 80 million gifts that our kids don't really even play with the next day. And let's go visit all family members and let's be crazy and fight with each other and do all this stuff. Or let's just sit in 83-degree weather in December and just enjoy life. What do we choose?
Stay home and stress.
Stay home and stress. No new tradition here. You know, whose house are we going to this year and where are we running around to and all of that stuff. And I still go back to why? Why do we put ourselves through it?
It's hilarious because I was just talking about this with my wife last month, and I'm just like, hey, let's just go up to like Michigan or something this Christmas, right? Like they got the Christmas town. What is it, like Frankenmuth or something? She's a big Hallmark person. I'm like, this would be really cute to take the family to. All the reasons not to came out, you know, and of course it's just like, but it would just be so much less stress, you know. We'd have fun. It'd be cute. We'd have some memories from it, blah, blah, whatever. But anyway, so like you were getting at with the new traditions. It's like this year I set my foot down. Christmas Day, I'm home.
Right.
I'm turning on the fireplace, making some hot cocoa. I'm putting the toys together. We're playing with the toys. We're going to watch some movies, play some games, do whatever it is the kids want. We're going to go outside, go sledding, do whatever it is. We don't have to stay home, but like we're doing the things that we want to do.
Right.
Christmas Eve, cool. Day after Christmas, we all have off work still. Maybe not her, I don't know, but I'm staying home with my kids.
Right.
Like that's it. And it's not, and here's the messed up thing, right? We do these new traditions. And I think this is one of the reasons why people don't do it is because they feel like assholes doing it, right? Because for the last 15 years, they've been doing the same thing. And now all of a sudden, well, what did we do? Why are you changing it? What happened? You know? And then you're like, well, it's literally not you.
No,
it's not
never
you.
anyone else.
I'm not mad at you.
Right.
I mean, yeah, sure. My family has a lot of drama and I don't really like being around all the time, but that's not the reason.
Right.
The reason is because I'm tired of stressing. And it's like, how is that working out for you? Well, I'm tired of being stressed out over this whole thing all the time. You guys know where I live, right? You're the grandparents. It sucks. I sorry to tell you this, but like my kids, this is their home. I'm not putting them they're still in a car seat. I'm not putting the car seat on every hour of the day to keep going around.
Mm-hmm.
You're all local, 15 minutes away from everybody. Come stop by, say hi, have a cup of hot chocolate. It's not because I'm mad at you.
Right.
It's because I value time with my family that's undistracted.
Right.
And I don't get a lot of it. I don't. That's one of the shitty things about being a dad who's busy all the time on 30 different projects is Christmas Day. Like I need that day.
Yeah.
I need that day with my kids. I don't think people understand that. And a lot of dads, a lot of moms, you'll understand this. Like I need that time with my kids. Undistracted, undisturbed, quality time.
Right.
You know, and what's so bad about that?
100% agree. You take it this way. Compare Christmas and Halloween. Halloween's about the kids. It's all about the kids. Imagine saying to a kid, you can go trick-or-treating for 15 minutes because then we have to go to your cousin's house. Or then we have to go here. And then we have to why?
Dude, stop the kids mid trick-or-treating.
Why? And literally, that would be mid trick-or-treating like, okay, you're not allowed to go trick-or-treating anymore because, I'm sorry, we have to go visit someone else we have to see their kids' outfits. Like, well, that's what Christmas Day is. Okay, kid, I know you just lost your mind with present opening and you got everything you wanted and blah, 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 blah. And now it's 9:30, 10 o'clock. And okay, you need to go upstairs and get dressed because we promised we'd go to so-and-so's house for brunch. Like, what? Like, look at a kid and say, yeah, I know. Let's not take that out of the box yet because we're going to get out of the box. There's going to be pieces everywhere and we have to leave. Okay, well, when are we coming back? We won't be back till late tonight.
Man.
We can play with it tomorrow. Like, again, Halloween. You got 6 pieces of candy and then we pull up short and go, nope, we're done. That's what Christmas Day has been.
For a lot of us.
For a lot of us. All because we needed to go somewhere else. And some people love that shit. And I'm happy for them. They love visiting and they love going around like, oh my God, we get to go see this person. And they love having 87 people over their house and it's awesome. But I bet you if I pulled them aside and say, hey, why do you do this? Well, I feel obligated. Like, who else is going to do it? No one else is going to do this. Like, okay, you feel obligated. So what's your obligation? Someone going to yell at you? Like, I can't believe you didn't have us over for the holidays. So let me go back to a different obligation. And this one's more on this is a big pet peeve of mine. And I don't think anyone's scheduled anything lately, but something always happens. Labor Day and Memorial Day. Memorial Day is probably one of my favorite holidays, even 4th of July, just because the weather's awesome. And you're coming out in Cleveland, it's just a shit long winter. So Memorial Day is kind of like the diving board into, you're out of the shit and we're finally into some good weather and it's a nice 3-day weekend. And what always happens? Someone schedules a stupid ass party that has nothing to do with Memorial Day, like a baby shower or a graduation party or a whatever, just something. And it's never on a Friday night. It's always on a Saturday night or Sunday, which destroys the whole weekend. So this is my way to let everyone know, like, no one wants to come to your party on Memorial Day. If it's a Memorial Day barbecue and we're all going to hang out, awesome. But if you're planning an event that just killed the whole freaking weekend, like I want to get yard work done. Nope. I got to go here. Or my wife wants to do this and oh, she's got to go to a baby shower, a wedding shower. Like, why would you kill a weekend that everyone looks forward to for your own need?
Well, that's what's shitty because like a barbecue you can say no to. Like that's not really a big deal. Like somebody invites you to a barbecue, cool. But yeah, like a baby shower or a wedding shower or a part like a bachelor or bachelorette party or something like a birthday party. Like you don't really you feel a lot more obligated to go to those things because how many baby showers is this person going to have? Depending on, I guess what they practice, they might have 10 kids. I don't know. You might have the chance to go to 10 of them.
Right.
But for most people like who only have 1 or 2 kids, you're going to say no to a baby shower?
I'm with you.
Right? And so like, why even make people choose?
Right. Like that should just be an off limits weekend for scheduling parties.
Irrelevant parties.
A 1-year-old birthday party. Like, oh my God, I have to go to that. But you literally just killed an awesome weekend. Like, don't schedule a graduation party. Like, find another weekend. That's not the weekend for it. People want to get shit done. They just came out of a shitty winter. Like, let them enjoy that weekend. Same thing with Labor Day. All right, we're going into the fall and the shit winter. Like, let us just enjoy. So that's my own little gripe right there. Stop scheduling stuff on these weekends, these nice long weekends that we all want to enjoy. But you glom them for your own personal interest. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
What else you got?
All right. Here's the other one too. This is from a holiday sense. When you move away from your family, and I've moved away from my immediate family, but not far, 2 hours. So drive wise, it's not bad. But I have friends and family that their immediate family members live far. From here, they live in Chicago or they live in New York or they live down south or whatever. So it's when they pack their shit up, like that's a trip. Like their holiday has now turned into a full blown trip where it's not just one day, it's 3 or 4 days.
Right.
And it's a lot of times you're staying with family members or you're staying in a hotel or you're staying wherever. And and you're ripping the kids out of anything, everything. Where I just question, like, is it an obligation that you feel like you have to be there? Because everyone I know, like, literally shakes their head like, I can't stand the holidays because we have to travel, and travel, like I said, is not getting in the car. It's
On a plane.
or if it's in a car, it's a 7-hour drive, or it's like, it's an ordeal. Like, why do we do that to ourselves? Like, you moved away. I get you need to go back, but you're going to go back on the worst possible time where flights are canceled and traffic is brutal and everything about the holiday sucks. And yet we feel obligated to do it.
This whole conversation leads up to the famous question, like, how's that working out?
Right.
Or like, how's that working out for you? How is it working out for you getting on a plane every year during the busiest season of the year to fly, while also being one of the highest rates of cancellations at the same time?
And the most expensive.
Like, how's that working out for you? Right? You can do it another time of the year. Like, hey, you know what's cool? Christmas in July. I think that whole concept's like sweet, right? Like, it's just like that, because it goes back to the traditions. This thing is like Christmas. Okay, like, well, it's Christmas really in the Christian sense is like celebrating the birth of Christ and doing all these cool things, right? And like, why can't I do that in July? Like, if I'm a Christian, like, why can't I celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ?
The church would probably tell you can't.
But. Yeah, whatever. But like, why can't you say, like, I remember growing up, like, my dad used to have Christmas and July parties at the house and invite all his friends and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is cool. Like, and it's nice outside. So like, we can cook out, we can play in the pool and do all this stuff. Right? But like, that's the cool thing about like the traditions. It's like, who says, right? Because it's tradition, like, that's law. Like, it's not a law, just so you know, like, you're not going to get arrested for celebrating Christmas or Thanksgiving or Labor Day, or I guess Labor Day is pretty specific, but I mean, they're all specific, but the point is, like, nobody's going to arrest you. Nobody's going to beat you up. Nobody's going to do anything if you change tradition a little bit, right? You don't want to fly in, don't fly in. Like, if it's not working out for you, stop doing it. Yeah. If somebody gets offended by that or upset, or like, that's not your responsibility.
No, right? But we've put too much emphasis on the days, and I still sit there and say, why? What are the rules? Who's holding the book of? No.
Right.
You have to do that. Like, you're not allowed to break away. You're not allowed to start your own thing. You're not allowed to just not be a part of it. And again, maybe it's my age. The older I get, the more of a curmudgeon I'm turning into.
Humbug.
Yeah. And it's not even that, because I do love the holidays. I'm a holiday spirit kind of guy. And Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. From getting together and throwing footballs around, and just the weather's awesome and the food's friggin' amazing.
That's what it is.
But it's like, why does where does the stress come from? Because if there's stress, I would question, what's the purpose? Like, if it's not stressful, if you walk into a holiday and say, this is not stressful at all, I know I have 47 things to go to, and I know I have to go shopping, and someone just eats it up and says, I love it, this is awesome. Well, then awesome, more power to you. But I think if we're creating stress, then make a different decision and stop stressing over that decision.
Well, this is where my words will bite me in the ass, because I'll talk all the time about sacrifice, right? And people are like, well, sacrifice a little bit of stress to make everybody happy. And I don't think that's actually what I mean when I talk about like going through suffering and pain and being stressed out to get what you want. Like, is it, and I think you said this, like, is it worth it? Right? Because when I'm talking about being stressed out, I'm talking about being stressed out to get somewhere in a growth sense.
Right.
Right. I'm saying using stress to grow. Right. Is this really a growth thing? Right. Or are you just trying to make everybody else happy because you're a people pleasing person? Like, is that really worth it? Is that getting you somewhere that you want to be in life?
I don't know.
That's the question. That's the question. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, left or right, or up and down. I'm just saying, like, that's the question to ask. Like, is this stress really worth it? Is there another solution? Is there something else that we could be doing? Can we start a new tradition? Can we talk about this in a respectful manner and figure something else out, because it's not working for me?
Right. And the stress there would be, again, back to the, if you're married, us being the guys in the relationship, it is the lady at home good with the same idea?
Not usually.
Does she have the same, what would be the word, stick-to-itiveness to say, it is what it is. This is what we're doing. I'm done. Or she's saying, I don't give a shit. This is what we are doing. And you'll get your ass in the car and we're going over this person's house and we're doing all these traditional things that we always do. And we're going to be stressed out for 4 days and I'm going to be a lunatic and I'm going to yell at you and you're going to like it. And this is the way it is and tough shit. I'm like, okay. So, we preach a good game, but it's a question of whether or not your significant other is ready to take on that. But that's the reason for this podcast today is, set the stage early. Like start putting out what the plans are. I mean, I'm sitting here saying, maybe we'll have maybe instead of a Christmas in July, we'll have a Christmas in early December. But let everyone know, let's have a non-stressed Christmas week. Like make it your own.
Absolutely.
Let's break it up over the next, 30 days in December where this family and this family and this family, you meet up at this person's house and that person's house or whatever every other weekend. So it's not all glommed into one day of craziness.
Well, some things that I don't even consider is like when we both have siblings, me and my wife. Siblings mean all sorts of other families. So like we have 5 families that we have to get together. They have the same family that we're getting together with, but they also have their own family. Right. And so it's like trying to plan all that, like trying to work around. It's like, geez, that's rough.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think causes all that stress.
Yeah.
It's coordinating like, oh, Tommy's not coming this year? Well, no, he went to his wife's family. Like, well, didn't he go to his wife's family last year? Like, the calculator's out. Oh, we're adding it up. Oh, didn't he go to Tommy's family's for Easter too? Oh, calculator, another bad point. Like, come on,
dude. That's the one thing that I love about my dad. Christmas Eve, I can not show up to any holiday throughout the year. Hell, I can just give him a call on his birthday and he'll be fine, right? Maybe send him a card. Christmas Eve is the only thing he asks for the entire year. And even though that's sometimes still much, right? With everything else going on,
right?
It's like he gets it. He's just like, listen, I get it. Like you go to Thanksgiving every other year somewhere else. I don't care. Easter, celebrate somewhere else every year. I don't care. Christmas Day, don't care. Labor Day, Memorial Day, whatever, don't care.
Right.
Christmas Eve, that's it. That's all I want. Right? Get it.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Less stress on me.
But he makes it his thing. I would be fine with that. If I walk downstairs at 10 o'clock in the morning and my dad's sitting on the couch, my parents are sitting on the couch, figure we just bomb in. Like, let's go. Wouldn't bother me in the least. And if they said we're just going to hang out and we're going to, give presents and we're going to do whatever, and then we're going to run to the next place, I'd be like, that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
No stress, no whatever. Like, yeah, maybe we had somewhere to go and crimped us, but I think impromptu shit is more fun. The obligations, what's my pain?
Oh yeah.
So I think really the goal here, and I kind of went through some of our topics here, is set the stage early. I mean, the holidays are coming. Labor Day is this weekend. So if you're already caught going off to different parties and different rules and different shit, well, then I'm sorry for you. But you got Halloween coming, you got Thanksgiving coming, you got Christmas coming. Like, push it out there now. Deal with the lumps, deal with the egos of depression and who's sad because you're not coming, or whatever it is you decide to do. Like, set the stage early. Let people know, but do it from the heart. Don't do it from your dickish, sometimes ways that
He's talking directly to me right now.
Right. Well, but even, it's a mirror conversation as well. So it's let everyone know, but, first have the conversation with your significant other on what it is that you believe and want to do, rather than just throwing out that dick comment, like, I'm not going here this year. I'm so sick of going here. I just want to sit on my, like, okay, set the stage, but think it through. Don't just throw out dick comments and then start the fighting. And then, well, I'm not doing that, because then you're the one calling this person. You're telling them that we're not going. It is what it is. So, let's figure out how to make the holidays fun again.
Yes.
And not a money pour and a check the box situation where we all have to qualify to be, the best brother or uncle or cousin or whatever, and just make it about hanging out. Stop all the freaking gift buying and all the who's who and who could outdo the other relative because I bought something bigger. Let's just turn it what it's about is love and family and just hanging out and not feeling obligated to be somewhere every freaking event that's called out.
Yeah. Yeah, and save the drama.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't really dive into that, which is one of my things with this whole situation, because every family's got their drama.
Sure.
Save it.
Yeah, put it aside.
Save
for this one time.
Stop arguing with each other. Stop saying dumb shit to one of your other siblings or uncles or aunts behind the scenes. Like, own it and just get together. If you don't want to get together, don't show up.
Right.
If you really can't handle being around somebody in your family, just stop going.
Right.
Right? Because nobody else wants to hear it.
I
Nobody
agree.
else wants to see you sitting over in the corner getting belligerent and talking shit, or wait until after the night like, oh my God, I can't believe he or she did this or didn't do that. And it's like, don't be that person.
No.
Don't be that no.
Just enjoy each other's company.
Cool. Yeah.
Call it what it is. If you're going to show up, shut up.
Find a way to have fun, like you
right.
said. Like just
and that's it. But if you don't want to go, don't go. Set your own traditions and make it known early so you don't come off as that asshole.
Absolutely. One tradition, though. Are we wrapping up?
Yeah, we're wrapping.
Yeah, because if there's one tradition that I am fully behind, it is that every time you get on here to watch an episode, you leave a comment, right? Biggest thing, subscribe, like, hit the notifications thing so that you're on here, you see all this stuff coming out. But traditionally speaking, leave a comment so we can talk.
Yeah,
so
I want to know what your thoughts are on this.
Oh, yeah.
This is a hot button that I've talked to many people about. So put a comment. What do you hate? What do you love? What do you wish could happen?
Ask questions.
Yeah, something.
Whatever it is.
We're glad to fire back.
Absolutely.
So, hey, happy holidays to you guys. You got your 4 months before the fun begins, but, set the stage early.
If I don't see you before then, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Peace out, suckers.
See ya.